Good morning and welcome to the Elevate Renatus team call. This is your host, Keely Austin. Today is Wealth Wednesday, and as of right now, we have 47 participants on the line. Make sure that you reach out to your team. We don't want any ICMs left behind. Today we get to learn from Daine Clark. I really love Daine's training style, and I love that he shares with us exactly what's working for him. He really goes into great detail and shares a lot of really powerful mindset tips as well. Some of Daine's background: he was working for 2 jobs before Renatus. He was working as a roofer with fair skin and red hair. That was really not his cup of tea, being in the sun all day. And then he was also working for Apple. And typically at Apple, you're very outgoing, you're talking to customers all the time. And he was actually so shy and not so good at talking to people that they had him stay in the back and just work in the back. So that really always inspires me, just knowing that Daine has gone from being really shy to where he is now very outgoing and very successful in this business. So at the time, he was barely making ends meet. So he started to look for other income opportunities, and he found Renatus. He plugged into the system, listened to his mentor, and started to apply what he was learning. He applied Velocity Banking to pay down some debt, and then he used that as leverage for a down payment on a duplex. He lived in one side of the duplex and rented out the other. Fast forward to today, Daine has raised over $12 million on various real estate transactions. His secret to that is consistency and frequency. He has grown his team. He is on the PIT, meaning he is a President's Advisory Council member in training. Our CEO, Bob Snyder, recognizes Daine as a key leader, and we're so fortunate to get to learn from Daine this morning. Good morning, Daine.
Oh, good morning, Keely. How are you doing?
Doing great, thank you. How are you, Daine?
Awesome. I'm doing so good. And I just got to say really fast, man, I remember when you first started doing this and doing the intros, like I can just tell that you're smiling when you're talking. Like you're using your voice. I can't even remember what they call that in presenter school, but where your voice is going up and down. Like I wish I could give you an award for how awesome you've been becoming. This is super cool to watch you grow over these last, I can't even remember how long it's been, 9 months, maybe longer. But yeah, I think you're doing awesome. And it just shows that you're doing a lot of practicing. You're doing a lot of, sounds like you're doing the Toastmasters, which is, I am so excited about. In fact, are they still doing Toastmasters? Are they doing it virtual?
Yeah, we're on Zoom. And thank you so much, Daine.
Okay,
It really is nice to hear.
Oh, good. Good. Well, good morning, Renatus Nation as well. So excited to be here. You guys know how I like to work, so if you already know what to do, then go ahead and chime into the chat. Let me know how many people you were able to have a conversation with in the last 7 days. If you're new to the call, you've never been here before, I love interacting with the students. I love interacting and sharing advice for specific cases as well, so we'll get into that in just a minute. But I also report. So I report, I just remembered that I made a promise to everybody that I was going to you know what? I'm going to put that in my calendar right now, because if it doesn't get scheduled, it doesn't happen. I'll do that right after this call. So let's see, put stuff in the template for all. All right, I'll do that right after this call. So anyway, what I was saying was I track myself. I keep track of everything I'm doing as far as one-on-ones and in my business. Really, I track everything I do every minute of the day through my calendar. But yeah, so I track, and I have an accountability group. I currently do it with the rest of the PIT team in Renatus. But before that, I just grabbed a group of guys and gals and said, hey, people, let's all be accountable to each other. Let's report every single week, so we have this track record, and so we know who's falling behind. Because one of the questions that every time I bring on a new student, I try to ask them this question. I say, hey, when something happens and your emotional state towards your success goes down, and you begin to doubt, and you begin to fall behind, and you begin to just say, oh, I wasted my time, I wasted my money, right? All this investing of time and money is not going to pay out. It happens. It happens to everybody. Happened to me several times, actually. And so you can notice the pattern of where you are, but also where the people that you are being accountable with, where they are. And so whenever I bring in students, I try to ask them this like as soon as I can in the process, and say, hey, when I notice that you are probably struggling in the mind a little bit with your own success, and that this time and money invested is going to pay off, what do you want me to do? And I always ask them, I say, I'll give you two options. Either A, I will just let you be, I'll let you fester, figure it out. I'll let you, I'll just let you, pull yourself out of it, and you'll be back, right? Renatus has a lifetime membership on purpose, because, Bob knows that this is what happens. He's a smart man. He knows. Even in the little generally speaking that we saw just this morning, right? He knows that things happen in our minds, especially when we are investing time and money and effort and energy to bring a better time and money ratio to our life. But anyway, so option A, let you fester, let you do it on your own. Option B is, I'll say, do you want me to give you a swift kick in the pants? Do you want me to come at you and say, hey, what is going on? Do you remember why we started this? Do you remember the reason? Like, do you remember what's going on in your life right now that you are not okay with, that you wanted to improve? Do you remember, like, let's, a swift kick in the pants, and I always say, I don't hit girls. I've never hit girls before. So we're talking virtual swift kick in the pants. Like, hey, let's do this. Let's get back at this, right? And so that to me was an awesome thing to have, to be able to have this group of accountability people alongside me, and we all, entered into agreement that if we could see somebody's falling behind, you either chose, like, hey, just kind of let me figure it out. I'll keep showing up. I'll figure it out. Or if they stop showing up, we'll just let them be. Or do you want that virtual swift kick in the pants? That it's time to get yourself out of that gutter, right? Because like Keely said, if it wasn't for all these systems that Renatus has put into place, all the people that run this ship, that are helping each other, man, I would have fallen off a long time ago. I would have told myself I wasted my $20,000 and that I'm just going to throw in the towel and I'm just going to go back to working really hard roofing, right? Because I'm probably still technically good at it. I don't really know. I haven't done it for a long time, but it's probably like riding a bike, right? Go right back to that. But no, I don't want to do that. So get at it. Anyway, accountability. There's my soapbox for the day. Keep yourself accountable. Now, when I report everything because I want to be honest with myself. Oh my gosh, I got tons of people. I got to give some love here. But even if I have a 0, I will report it, because how I do one thing is how I do all things, and I will first be honest with myself. Okay. All right, Sarah. Sarah had 3. Great job. Ada, thank you, Keely. Appreciate you. Ada had 4. Anne had 2. Esther had 4. Her first $10,000 month. Oh, I'm so excited. I'm so excited to see that. See, Esther is one of those people. She's been posting, I recognize her name every single week for, I can't even remember how many months that she has been posting. She's been working, And here she is, $10,000 a month. Would you look at that? Oh, I'm so excited for you. This is super cool. And even in the midst of the whole Corona era, right? I'm finding this divide, right? I see this because I meet with a lot of people and I talk with a lot of people every single week about Renatus. And I'm seeing this divide where some people are just like losing their marbles and some people are like, holy crap, I better jump on the bandwagon because more millionaires were created the last time this happened with the economy. And so I want to be in that statistic this time, right? I know I want to be on that. Yeah, I've made a bunch of money, sure. But all I've really been doing is putting myself in position for what is happening right now in our economy, because I don't care what everybody believes, if this is going to go back to normal in a couple of months or if this is going to have long-term effects. You know, it doesn't matter to me what you believe. There is still real estate opportunity, and the most secure paycheck is to be taking, I should say taking, the most secure paycheck is to be receiving the first check that the average American writes every single month. On the first day of the month. We got a couple of days before that happens. As of right now, and every first day of the month I get an influx of cash, and it's awesome. And it's the first check that they'll write, as well as the last check that they will allow to be skipped. People will lose their houses last at the end of the day, and so this is the time to pick up hugely discounted real estate. If you don't have money, then I suggest you start watching Jay Massey's classes, Matt Sorensen's classes, because oh my goodness, it's time. It is time. Speaking of which, let me take just a quick minute on that. Did you see the founders webinar? Bob made a crazy announcement on the founders webinar. If you didn't see it, go watch it, but especially when he makes that announcement on that founders webinar, things are going to be changing a little bit. People will be motivated in a different way when it comes to the comp plan. 5 stars will still be very motivated to help their new people to start making money fast, but their new people will start making money faster, which was very interesting to me and very exciting. I'm stoked. Now, I don't think I heard him say this on the founders webinar, so just a little sneak peek, and I'm not saying I know something you don't, but if I was you, we don't know when this is all going to go down, so these changes, but if I was you, I would look at what you own in your Renatus, what do you want to call that? Your Renatus back end. There's only 3 things that Renatus sells. There's the essentials, the AIT, and the profits. I would consider, if you are not 5-star yet, especially, I would consider upgrading before all of this happens. Now, I'm not saying I know something or whatever, but I'm suspecting, just based on the things I'm hearing and what I know about. Well, let's just say that if you don't own your full combo or your Epics combo, either one, I would consider doing whatever it takes to get that upgraded. Even if you use the billing, it doesn't matter. Even if you figure that out, you will have the benefit that may or may not be going away. But anyway, all right, moving on. All right, we got a bunch of honest, awesome people here. Bruce and Levi has a couple of goose eggs. Great job, guys. David had 2. Carol had 4. Evan had 0. Amy had 4, and 4 coming tonight. Sherry had 3. Cheryl had 6. Still working. Great job. David had 4. Awesome. Corey had 7. 4 to events. Awesome, awesome, awesome. I love how you guys are like cheering each other on as well. You guys are awesome. Renee had 3. Brigham had 6. Keely had 3. Sherry had 2. Thais had 5. Doug had 1. Great job, brother. Had a boy. Let's see. Is it maybe George Coleman? George, maybe. If I pronounce your name wrong, I sincerely apologize. Linda had 4. Man, great job, guys. This is awesome. Cecilia had 4 peeps in an intro. Great job. Man, you guys are awesome. You guys are super awesome. All right. Sorry that took an extra couple minutes there. I had a couple of soapboxes. I hope that was beneficial for you guys to hear. You know, those couple of nuggets that I've shared already. Question for you though. And you guys, you know, those of you who have already been on my calls several times, thank you, Keely. Those of you who have been on my calls several times, I want to interact. Like, let's pull out an actual experience that somebody had, whether it was in the last 7 days or, you know, in the last month, I don't care. You know who you are, right? Just come off of mute, interrupt me because you might lose your chance. So let's help somebody, right? Somebody gets some free mentorship here. And let's see what we can do to all help you. And you know who you are. So just come off of mute. Let's have a conversation. I guarantee every single person, just interrupt me because I'm just going to sit here and yak for a second. All right, I got somebody. Who do we have?
Hey, Daine, how you doing? It's David.
David, what's up, brother? How you doing?
Pretty good. So,
good, man.
I've been putting out ads lately. I've been putting out ads lately.
Okay. On what medium? Like a Facebook or like signs in the dirt?
Yeah, and Facebook, and Facebook ads and just Facebook groups and different things like that. And I had a lot of people show interest, and I had 4 guests come to the past Super Saturday Real Estate Intensive. And
Sweet.
And I had
it's working.
They said they liked the event, but now I'm not getting as much response. They said they really enjoyed the event, but now I'm not getting reactions when I'm inviting them to the next meeting. Trying to see
came to an event. Yeah, let's see. Came to an event, said they liked it, and then ghost. Did you book them to an event after that event? Like when they tell me about the conversation more. Yeah, let's dig in a little bit more. Tell me about the conversation afterwards more. What did you say? What did they say?
Okay, so
and when did this happen? Was it right after the event? Was it days after?
Okay, so Saturday, a couple of them had to call me because they didn't know how to join the event. They didn't follow the directions, and they called me. Then they joined the event, and afterwards, I asked them how did they enjoy it, and they said they liked it, but they didn't answer my phone call, so I had to text that, and then they replied to it, and they replied saying they enjoyed it, and I invited a couple of them to an event on Sunday, and 2 showed, and 2 didn't respond after the Saturday to my did they enjoy it. And now I'm not getting any response from any of them.
So I have a suspicion. Okay, I'm listening to you. I'm trying to think about them. I have a suspicion, and obviously there's no way for me to know if this is like 100% accurate. But here's what I think might be going on. Okay, so if you imagine yourself, you know, in midst of Corona era, all this stuff, You know, I could sit here and I could probably drill you on like, hey, how qualified are these people as well. But let's not go there. Let's not go there for now. So if they came to an event like that and they said they liked it, I would suspect that either I mean, yes, they watched it, but weren't really like engaged maybe, or maybe they didn't even watch it and they just said, yeah, it was great. You know, maybe they chimed in a few minutes. I don't know. But regardless, I wonder if they need like some one-on-one attention, because a lot of people right now, I mean, a lot of them want to be heard, right? They want to be heard with what's going on. And so here's what I would do. Okay. So one of two options. One, do you have either yourself or maybe a 5-star that is 5-star to you that could do a one-on-one with these people? Yes or no? And it's okay either way if you do or you don't, because yeah, just let me know and we'll go whichever way. But is there somebody that can do a one-on-one with these people?
Yes, and when I did speak to a couple of them, they were in New York. For some reason, New York people answered this ad, and so I reached out to someone in New York because they wanted to kind of meet the people that was behind the seminar, and I said, yeah, I could. Let's get on a 3-way call. Let me know when you're free. And I talked to someone from New York, and he's ready, but I haven't gotten a confirmation from my
guest. Was in New York, or you're 5-star? Or are you 5-star?
I'm not 5-star, but I reached out to someone who is a 5-star in New York.
Aha, okay. Do you have a good relationship with your 5-star?
Yes.
And really just to answer yes or no. Okay, so yes, you do. Do you trust your 5-star to do a one-on-one?
Yes.
Cool. Here's what I would do, because like if you were gonna call me, and you know, because yes, I am a 5-star, and yes, I choose to help everybody I can. Very busy guy, but you know, so it's hard to get a hold of outside of, you know, when I schedule to you know, and you guys know this. I've seen messages from you guys, and sometimes it takes me a minute to get back to you. But so if you were gonna try and get somebody in front of me for like a 3-way call, yes, it would be valuable for them, you know, because I would sit there and say, oh my gosh, this is the greatest thing since sliced bread. You know, it changed my life. I did all this stuff, you know, and that'd be great. But I just wouldn't have the time to really get into their situation and be like, hey, let's customize a roadmap. Like let's chart a course to your own success for you. Let's sit down for like an hour, and I'm going to ask you a bunch of questions, and I'm going to say, oh my gosh, you might want to connect with Jay Massey. You might want to connect with Chris Alvin or Chris Wilson, because those guys, I mean, holy smokes. And you guys know that I'm just saying their classes, right? Let's get you access to their classes. But yeah, let me connect you with Chris Wilson. This dude owns 400 properties, plus or minus at any given time, owns his own property management company, and he gives away his secret sauce. And he'll sit with you for 20 plus hours and just give you a fire hose that you can replay back anytime you want, take your notes, build your action steps, so you can go build an empire for yourself. And so when you sit down like that in the one-on-one, you can ask them questions and almost, I hate to say consult, but act like a consultant, kind of. I'd be like, oh my gosh, like based on what you just said, I think that you should spend a lot of time with Mark Kohler. I mean, this guy in the Renata curriculum, this dude's got dozens of hours that he'll sit with you and give you secret sauce so that you know how to empower yourself with conversations with actual actual professionals. So you can go make it happen. Okay. So you did it right by connecting him with other 5-stars and stuff. So, you know, don't feel like I'm telling you did anything wrong. You did it right, but also be like, hey, I got somebody I want you to meet, to your prospect. Hey, I got somebody I want you to meet. Let's actually get you a one-on-one sit down where they can customize a roadmap for you. Ask them a bunch of questions and be like, oh my goodness, like you are going to want to sit down with Chris Albin. If you've got a retirement account, or not Chris Albin, Matt Sorensen. If you've got a retirement account that you want to use to invest in real estate, I mean, now's the time. I mean, they just gave you full reign to either withdraw it, no penalties, and taxes over the next 3 years, and you can pay, unless you pay yourself back. So you could throw your whole thing. I mean, well, I think it's up to $100,000. So you could pull money out, no fees, no payments, and you could start investing in real estate using your self-directed. And then as soon as this thing all goes back, then you might just put the money back into the 401k and then roll it over. Anyway, you guys, you hear what I'm saying here, right? People need to hear customized. Here's what I can do, right? Open their eyes. And so I would reach back out to them, tell them a story of tell them a story of what the best thing that has happened to your 5-star so far, whether that's deals, money, whatever it is, what's the best thing that's happened to your 5-star so far, and be like, yeah, I actually would love to sit down one-on-one, or I guess the 3 of us, let's sit down, the 3 of us, and let's see how we can best help you make some money. Let's see how we can best help you save some taxes, whatever financial situation your prospects are in, do that. Okay. And they'll respond to that one-on-one personal touch a lot more. I mean, yes, the events are important. The events are important in between the one-on-ones. Is how I run my business, at least. So, and I get that if, like Mr. Rowe, he's the #1 income earner for a reason. The chairman, what do they call that? The chairman award. I mean, in essence, Mr. Rowe gets the largest 1099 from Renatus than anybody else. And so, he knows what he's doing. I have found that I've been able to take matters into my own hands and give people the one-on-one touch as I'm building my business, right? And I imagine that Mr. Rowe did the same thing. When he was new, he had to get good at these one-on-ones and sit down. And so I know I have a copy of where I actually dove into my one-on-one. Maybe I ought to do another one here pretty soon, just because things have been updated in the last few months. But yeah, so David, I would say get with your 5-star and be like, all right, brother, or if it's a gal, either one. All right, sister, let's game plan. I am going to start booking one-on-ones in between events that I'm getting these people to, and let's customize a solution for these people, and let's make some money. And then you edify the heck out of your 5-star, and then you go book that.
Oh, that's a good plan.
Okay. There's my hunch. There's my hunch that people probably just need a little bit of one-on-one personal touch, and that customization to sit down and be like, hey, here's what's possible for you. Based on what you just told me, I think you should connect with these people in the Renatus curriculum. So let's see, let me check comments. Does that help?
Yeah, thanks, Daine. I really appreciate it.
Cool. Tim Breland, what do your ads look like, and do they build for real estate or something else? That could be a thing too. Does it sound like you're building to one thing and then in the actual event it wasn't what they expected? that one can definitely turn people off. Thanks, Tim. Man, I love how you guys are all chiming in together. Let's see, Keely. Let's see, was it Keely that just came off?
No, it's Sandra.
No, it was Renee.
Sandra, hey. Renee. Oh my gosh, we got a bunch of people coming off. All right. I think Renee was first.
So Daine, I keep hearing that you are the master of these one-on-ones, and I love your training on this stuff. Can you clarify a little bit your process as far as you talk to somebody, they've got some interest, they're willing to do the three that I'm guessing Bob's Biff, and then it sounds like you're doing a one-on-one after Bob's Biff. Can you clarify that a little bit?
Yes. Here, let me share my screen. Share screen. So, David, did we get you taken care of, brother? I want to make sure that before I move on to the next topic, that cool.
One-on-ones, I will make sure I put that on the lessons in between events. I appreciate that.
Good. Yeah, like I personally will schedule a one-on-one, and so I'll schedule the event, come to the event, and then I'll schedule a one-on-one in between that, and then I'll schedule another event, and then another one-on-one. And if they haven't bought by that time, I just say, you know what? You're not ready. You're not ready. If you haven't bought by that time, you're just not ready. And so I'm gonna find somebody else. So, and that gives me so much closure, like coming from the shy personality, the shy perspective of me, which, like oftentimes fear of rejection comes along with being shy. And so, I mean, I still got to tell myself, I still got to work on this inside of this, if I ever get rejection. And so my process is just, if I get you to an event and we do a one-on-one and then another event and another one-on-one, by that time you haven't joined, I am going to go find somebody else because you're just not ready, right? Even, it gives me so much closure inside to act like that or to run like that. So, all right. So I think it was Renee. Go ahead.
Mm-hmm. When you do that one-on-one after Bob's Biff, what is that conversation? Is that when you're doing this customized plan for them, or is that when they've said, yeah, I really want to be involved, what's the next step?
Yeah. Here's my process, right? So I create the intrigue, and there's lots of ways, right? There's lots of ways, but we won't talk about it today. We've talked about that almost, several times. And so you could go back and see that, but we create the intrigue, and then I get them to, and everybody calls it a different thing, but let's call it the intro, right? And really the intro is the intro to, oh, by the way, this could cost anywhere from $2,000 to $23,000. Or if you finance, $25,000 to $28,000. Okay, and so as the way I like to say it is the same way that like Woody would present, if you guys have ever been to a nationals, Woody would say, hey, like to do my mastermind, it's $2,000 or 3 payments of $500 or whatever. Actually, that doesn't even compute. 3 payments of $800. And so I do the same thing. So it's either $2,000 or it's 18 payments of I can't remember what the exact number is, but basically $2,500 over 18 months. Or on the Epics combo, it's $23,000 or it's 36 payments that comes out to $28,750. Right, and so that's how I say it, because it still motivates them to be like, oh, I want to do this one then. I want to do this one, cheaper, right? But anyway, so I get them an intro. The design of the intro is to 1, build value, 2, introduce price, 3, build value again, so that I can be like, hey, do you want to sit down one-on-one and let me show you how you can make money with this? Okay, so I go from the intro to the one-on-one, right? And this is how I personally do it. And this is how all the people, I could list off a bunch of people. Like when Mitch Nelson was around, this is how he did it. This is how Nate Lambert does it. This is how, oh my goodness. Anyway, bunch of leaders. Anyway, so I do the one-on-one. So I believe your question is it wasn't when I do the one-on-one, is it what goes on in this one-on-one?
Both.
Okay. So here's how I will do it. Let me change colors. I'll do it a couple different ways, right? Because this intro, same idea. I could do multiple things, right? So in this intro, I could do, for example, like a live online, of course, a live online event. I could do a video, right? Those are really the two main options, right? Going on right now. Technically, I guess I could do like a Super Saturday, which is also live online. Technically, I could do an intensive, also live online. Okay, but here's my two main, because these are the things I could do every single week. I don't have to wait around for Super Saturday or intensive. And so here's my system. Now this was like gold for me to do it like this. And so let's say I'm talking to somebody and I create the intrigue and they're like, holy cow, like based on what you're saying, like I need that, right? I want to learn more. I want to get into real estate. Like, cool. I say, all right, cool. Tell you what. And I try to sell the value of this one-on-one way back here. Right. And so I basically just say like, hey, like, do you actually want to sit down one-on-one with, and so if I was not 5-star, I would say with my, a lot of people use the slang word mentor. You could say the person who got me involved in this, whatever, right? And so if I even have my own people who are not 5 stars, I will tell them, when you create intrigue with somebody, then you say, oh my gosh, I got somebody I want you to meet, right? This guy got me, he got me involved in this. His name's Daine. I mean, he started his own private bank. He's put to, millions of dollars to private money to work, whatever, edify. And, working on paying off his house within 5 years of ownership, whatever, right? Anything. Just say whatever the best thing, go to your 5-star or whoever's going to do this one-on-one and say, hey, what's the best thing that has happened to you since you joined Renatus? Okay. And so for some people, like if they're a little bit newer, then they'll be like, oh my gosh, like my eyes are open. I can see exactly how I'm going to build wealth now. Right? That's awesome. That's still credible. People, anyway, they'll tell you what it is. And so you edify, and I sell this. I sell the value of the one-on-one during the intrigue, actually. Right? This is my personal system, if you will. So I sell the value of the one-on-one, and they're just like, yeah, I want that one-on-one. But I make them go through this first. And I say, tell you what, if you wanna sit down one-on-one, I want you to know a few things. I want you to know, a little bit about how like I'm getting my start, right? Or if in my case, I say how I got my start, but let's say you're getting your start. I want you to know how I'm getting my start and how I'm working and the people I'm surrounding myself with. Okay. So in order for us to sit down one-on-one, and I'll show you exactly what I'm doing, will you actually go through a little training before we meet? And so then they'll be like, oh yeah, like I've never had anybody ever tell me no. Right? So the first thing I do is I sell the value of sitting down one-on-one. The second thing I do is say, will you watch a video before we meet? Okay, and then they say yes, right? And I don't even tell them how long it is. I do not tell them how long it is. And so I just get them to say, yes, I will watch a video before we meet. And then I say, all right. So for example, like the ones that are in our back office, we've got stuff that's like an hour long from Micah Huggins. I can't remember exactly how long Bob's is, but it's in that, under an hour range, if I remember right. But regardless, right? Whichever one I have in mind that I'm going to send them, I say, it's about an hour long. Are you okay with that? Can you block off an hour in between now and when I actually schedule this? So I sell the value and I schedule it. Cool. Let's meet on Monday at 5 p.m. Mountain Standard Time on Zoom. And they're like, great, I love it. Let's meet on Monday. Okay. And so I schedule it. This is when I collect their email, right? You can see how sneaky this is. This is when I collect their email, like, cool, I'm going to send you a calendar invite. What's your email? And so I collect the email. And if I don't have the phone number, let's say this is all over like a Facebook Messenger or whatever, then, I'll snag that phone number too. You don't have to, but this is a good time to get that as well. Cool. I'm going to send you a text and a calendar invite to your email. So I get that and I say, oh, before we meet, will you watch a video by chance? And then they say, yeah, absolutely. I'll watch a video. Sure. Like, yeah. And I sell the video, right? I'll sell the video. Like, yeah, like this is going to give you an idea of how I'm getting my start, how basically like how I've been looking at other people actually doing deals and basically creating the system to say, cool, I'm just going to copy them, right? But one of the smartest things I've ever heard anybody do is copy somebody else that's having success. And so they're like, oh yeah, I'll watch that video. That sounds great. Say, cool. And it's like an hour long. Are you sure you can finish that before we meet? Yeah, totally. Absolutely. Cool. In fact, when we meet, the first thing I'll ask you is which part of that video is going to apply to you most. Because as we talk about this, like, I don't want to be preaching to any choir here. I actually want this to be valuable for you. Okay. So that'll be the first question I ask you. Right. And so for sure you can finish that before we meet and I can ask you those questions right as we start. Yes, absolutely. Cool. So 3 times I get them to say, I will watch a video. And this is why nobody ever shows up and doesn't watch the video. Because they tell me 3 times. And if they show up without watching that video, they are going to be like, they're going to feel dumb, right? Nobody wants to feel dumb. Nobody wants to look stupid. And so they watch that freaking video, right? And so whether that's the live online or video, just like that I send them a link to, either one, and then we do the one-on-one, right? And so in the one-on-one, I ask them questions. And so I sit down and I say, all right, what stuck out to you? And then I go from there, right? Okay, cool. Let's talk about that today. And I'll say, all right, purpose of the meeting today, right? Is I want to find out what you really want, right? And so I'll ask them questions like, so explain to me a perfect world when it comes to real estate investing for you, right? Is real estate investing full-time? Is it part-time? Does it stay full-time or does it stay part-time? Does it stay part-time forever or does it eventually get to full-time? Like, explain to me a perfect world for you in real estate investing. Time, money, so substance. Does this mean substance? Does this mean like, new car, new toys, bike or a brand new guitar, that costs $5,000, I don't know. What does this mean for you? Explain to me the perfect world, right? And people love this part. Oh yeah, like I'll do this, I'll do that, right? So perfect world, what does it mean for you? And then I say, all right, so you've already seen the stuff, right? You saw the stuff. Okay, and so my question for you, or I'm going to tell you exactly how this is going to go, right? People love this. And if in fact, I shared this just the other day with people, but you've seen the stuff. So my question for you, or this is how here's what's going to happen, right? As I start showing you these things, and this probably already has happened, but as I start showing you these things, you are either you're going to say, Daine, shut up and tell me what to do next. I'm in, right? I saw what's going on in there in that video you sent me, or that event that you sent me. I saw what's going on. I see what you're putting down here. Shut up and tell me what to do next, right? And so I say, that's what a yes looks like. And now I want to explain to them what a no looks like. And say, all right. Or you're going to be like, dude, Daine, I don't want to do this. Like, this isn't for me. I actually really like my little corner of the universe and what I'm doing and how I'm doing it and how long it's going to take me to get out of debt and how much money I'm making and how much vacation I do, right? And even to the point where, like, they're so polite that let's say the quarantine was lifted and I saw them at Costco for, whatever reason, because I was on vacation and they're on the other side of the United States from me, but whatever, right? I see them and they're just like ducking behind this giant pallet of peanuts and chocolates and gummy bears because they don't want to, like, meet eyes with me and be like, hey, how's it going? And I tell them, if you get to that point, I literally tell people stuff like this when I'm sitting down with them, that they, like, want to avoid me like the plague. Right, and I basically am telling them what a no looks like, because usually when somebody says no to me, or they say no to me in their mind and never tell me personally, they avoid me like the plague, right? So I just bring it out in the open and say that basically, like, if you start feeling like you want to avoid me like the plague, are you okay if you just say, you know what, Daine, this isn't for me? Can I trust you to have the confidence to just tell me no? And I get them to tell me yes, right? So in other words, I get them to tell me yes, I can tell you no. I say, all right, cool. Now that I know you're capable, let's do this, okay? And I say, oh, wait, one more thing. We might even get to the point where you are like, you know what? Maybe let me think about it. Maybe, I don't know. Let me talk to, I actually can't make this decision on my own. If you tell me maybe, because we're either moving one direction or the other, right? If you tell me maybe, are you okay if I actually take this as a no? And then again, they say yes. Right? So I ask them 3 questions like that. Here's what a yes looks like. Could you tell me that if you got to that point? Yeah. Here's what a no looks like. Could you tell me no if you got to that point? Yes. Here's what a maybe looks like. Could you tell me if we get to that point? Yes. Okay, great. Let's do this. And then I'll just dive into what we all know as the 3-phase plan. And actually, you know what? I just simplified it, because I feel like I'm one of those, typically a shy person is somebody who, like, when you get them talking, they will explain it till you're blue in the face, right? You know who you guys know who you are. I am that guy too. And so I've got to simplify things every once in a while. So here's what I've started doing. I said, all right, there's 2 phases here. One is get educated. I want to work with educated people. Here's why. And I just start listing off instructors and their classes, right? The taxes, the banking, the business, the real estate, finding deals, funding deals, self-directed IRAs or self-directed retirement accounts, flipping houses, finding money, apartment complex, whatever it is, right? And I just go down this list and be like, first, we got to pick and choose what is going to be valuable for you to get educated in, right? So you get to choose, you know what, I need to brush up on that. I need to brush up on that. Ooh, that could be interesting to me, right? So I just start showing them classes, and I'm going through the education, be like, yeah, like this will be valuable, you know, and I'll just, you know, it'll make it feel like I am customizing their experience, right? You're going to want to watch this class. You're going to want to watch that class. Does this look interesting to you? Like on a scale of 1 to 10, how confident do you feel in being able to set up the correct entity based on the type of real estate deal that you're doing? You know, S corporation, LLC, C corporation. Like, which one should you use? Like, do you know? Oh, I'm probably like a 5. Cool. We're watching this class then. Okay. And so I start customizing that experience to them. They're like, and we'll figure this out as we go. But you know, I just want to give you like a start of things that are going to be valuable for you. Okay. So as you're doing this, you're getting educated, but you're also, on top of that, you're getting relationships. You need people to talk to. You need people to talk to when it comes to real estate investing. You will make zero money if you don't have relationships, right? People to lean on, people to consult you, people to advise you, attorneys, CPAs, contractors, property managers. I mean, you need people, or else you will make zero money, right? And so I say, we'll do 2 things in this first step. After that, we just take action, okay? We set up our tax our tax situation. We set up our business. We go find the real estate deals. We go find the money, right? We roll over retirement accounts for ourselves or other people, right? We go analyze flips, okay? We go, I can't remember what that one is, but you guys get it, right? So we go take action on what we've learned using the people that we know, so that we can go do a real estate deal, right? And then I give them an example. I'll be like, yeah, so check out this deal, whether this is my deal or somebody else's deal. Typically, I actually like to share other people's deals, but yeah, here's a real estate deal that they analyze and purchase price. Here's the cash flow from it. Here's how they financed it. Whatever. And so they did this deal because of these classes and these people. All right, so if I go back to this, because of people that they connected to because of these classes, as well as the actual classes, right? And so they went and they made this profit on this real estate deal because of that, right? And so then I ask them this question, right? And I know we're right above the hour, but I want to just finish this thought. And so I then ask them this question. All right, so let me ask you a question. Does this make sense to you? And more importantly, do you like the idea of making money like this, where you're educated, you know how to talk to people, you have people to talk to, and then you go out and you take massive action and you close a real estate deal just like this person did, or if this is myself, just like I did, right? Now, obviously, no deal is typical, but the actions are the same. I've never had anybody say no, ever, not once. I mean, and last year I did 261 one-on-ones. Never had anybody say no to that question. So let me ask, and I say it just like this. So let me ask you a question. Does this make sense to you? And more importantly, do you like the idea? And they're like, yeah, this makes sense. I say, great. So let's talk about how to get you to day 1. Okay. Let's take the next few minutes to talk about that, right? And so then I start telling stories, and this is in your back end in Helios, but here is the ways that people fund their education. And so I just start telling stories, right? Some people had cash. Some people already had credit. Some people had to go get new credit, AKA like get funded online, or they just changed, basically using credit nerds. So new credit, which also includes like HELOCs. Some people use 401k money. Some people use life insurance money. And some people use our billing opportunity. And this is the one where I say, you know, whichever one we do, the 2,000, the 3,000, or the 18,000, if you use billing, it's, you know, $2,500 over 18 months. If you do the profits course, it's $3,750 over 18 months. If you do the advanced combo, which is let's see, I think it's 75. Yeah, 7,500 over 2 years. Right, so this is 18 months. This is 18 months. 18 months. 7,500 over 2 years, or 22,500 over 3 years. Right, and so you can mix and match any one of these. Now, here's the cool thing about this too. If you put either of these two with this one, then everything is over the 2 years, no interest. Everything is over the 2 years, and so that, you know, effectively, you know, even though you're getting more, it lowers the payment ratio essentially, right? And same thing here. If you match either of these with this one, then it inherits that 3-year payment structure as well. And so everything together would be $28,750. Now, obviously, I've rounded, you know, it's because it's like $24.97, you know, whatever. I've rounded, so the numbers are not exact, but you can put as little as 20% down of, you know, and you guys know how this works, right? And so I share them those things, and then I say, you can even mix and match. And so then I'll be like, all right, so tell me, do you have any cash to put down? Yes or no? Oh, I could put like $400. Okay, great. Do you already have open credit that you could use? Oh, I've got like $1,000. Okay, great. Do you feel confident in your credit score that you want to either A, go look at new credit, or do you want me to connect you with a professional that will charge you nothing to give you an assessment to say, you know what, you'd probably be a good candidate to get new credit, right? And so obviously I do not have a crystal ball in this, but you know, but let's say we try to get a certain amount of funds in new credit as well, because you feel pretty confident, right? Do you have any money in your 401k? Yeah, I've got $20,000. Cool. Well, there's $10,000 right off the bat. Because of Corona era, I mean, we got the full $20,000, right? So there you go. No payments. $20,000. You got it in your 401k. Okay. And so for sure, like, you know, let's look at these other options. Yes, but there you go. I mean, there's your combo, right? Do you have life insurance? No, I don't have a life insurance. Okay, cool. Let's cross that one out. And be like, all right, so billing, we'll just pick up any slack, right? Because obviously we don't want to pay those prices, those stepped up prices by doing this. So let's see if we can go find $20,000 using these 4 methods, and then we'll go and we'll do this for you. Sound, you know, does that make sense? Yeah, cool. All right, let's do this. And then from there, let's see, I went back here. So there's the one-on-one. And then I say, all right, here's the next event. And let's also schedule the next one-on-one. Okay, so schedule these at the same time. Come meet more people. Let's meet one-on-one. Your homework is this. Let's get this going, right? And if they have, I'm running out of time. Let's say they had enough money in these two, then I say, cool, let's actually unlock education today. Unlock education today, you can start watching and we'll go find the rest of the money over time, over the next few weeks. But in the meantime, you get to start watching now, get yourself closer to getting into your first real estate deal. Right? And again, you know, you never heard me say you'll get your first deal in 3 months or whatever, right? But this, you can start working today. Let's just get you started on this one right now. You got 21 days to pay it off, all that mumbo jumbo. Okay, and so, yeah, great question. I think it was Renee that asked that. But yeah, let me check.
Thank you so much, Daine.
Yeah, my pleasure. You could use a 1 to 10 survey. Yeah. Non-funded. How do you handle non-funded orders? Now the orders are full funded. So Ada, I will get them in on something that will unlock their education immediately. And if they don't find any more money, they're already in. Education's unlocked and we're finalized. So great question. But cool. Well, I got a jet. Love you all. I'll see you next week. Have a great rest of your this week. And we'll see you then. All right, guys. Have a good one.